what you're saying is I get a sandwich at the end of this.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. So I'm gonna wait for this to say that we're live.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna sit down.
So I'm making sure that Zuckerberg really made us live. We are live on Facebook. I tagged you. You can go to your Facebook and share it with your people if you
Yeah,
want to, Timothy.
this is what I'm
I
gonna
would
do.
sure appreciate it because, ever since high school, I wanted to be popular.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
I'm
still
gonna
a
share it
thing.
on
Facebook,
Facebook.
I'm going to talk to you while Timothy is playing with his computer that I
Well, I
told him
am.
to do. Facebook, welcome to Comic Spot. Yeah, this is my 518th interview.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. And today, oh my gosh, I got an intro from Timothy Lovett. That's the man over there in the square with the purple shirt on. Yeah, Timothy Lovett. Don't you love it?
I,
Purple on a man. Oh my gosh, yes. And when I got the intro he sent me, I was so excited because he's hella funny. I was watching Wendy Liebman on your show with Laura Grant and you.
Mhm.
And I got to know you, invited you on the show, and Laura's talking about coming on. But today I get you all to myself. So I'm happy. He's smiling to be polite. He's like, when's the old lady going to be over with this already?
No,
So
I'm
let me
enjoying this.
so let me say the intro that he gave me that made me die to get to know him. He says about himself, the funniest man at the homeless shelter between the hours of 9:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, except on a leap year. It's Tim Lovett on of the Funstoppable Comedy as a Weapon. Well, we have to learn what that is. He's on Facebook as Timothy Lovett. He's on Facebook as Comedy as a Weapon. He's on Instagram as comedyasa. That's Instagram. He's also there as Chuckles Calhoun. We have to find out about this. And his website is Comedy Weapon, not Comedy as a Weapon, Comedy Weapon on .com. Oh, you should see this adorable picture of him. I just couldn't wait to have him on and get to know him. Let's welcome him to Comic Spot with a round of applause. Timothy Lovett. Woo! Hi.
Hello, Linda. How you doing?
Fabulous. Talk to me about if you had to sum it up and we were done right now, who are you as a person aside from comedy? Who is Timothy Lovett? Huh?
Well, a complicated man who no one understands him but his woman. Oh wait, that's Shaft. I I don't know. I'm just a big kid. I'm a kid at heart. I like to look for I'm just that person that wants everybody to have a good time and look for the joy and everything. I figure, the default setting, there's always, is to look for something bad. There's always going to be something bad or negative or whatever. But, you got to make it conscious. I think being happy and being, and, having joy is a conscious decision. So that's me. I choose to be this guy, choose to be happy, choose to make other people happy, and share the love. That's it.
So you started doing comedy about 6 years ago in Massachusetts or out in the East Coast?
Yeah, yeah. It came about where, well, my whole family is funny because I just went back to. I'm originally from Lorain, Ohio, and I just went back there for a funeral, and I was like it was just I just come from a funny family. Like I am the least funny of my family, and we're all like there's only so much stage time in my family. You know what I mean? There's only so much stage time, and everybody's fighting for it, and it's and the best and the loudest usually get they get heard. So um yeah, I started doing comedy. I was already like always felt like a comedian, but I didn't know where to go or anything. So yeah, I started when I moved to Massachusetts, and after a situation where, I mean, we'll probably get into it, but a situation where, I turn some negativity into some positivity.
Absolutely, I get that. I've said it 1,000 times, but 6.5 years ago, my daughter and I went our separate ways. It was a very heartbreaking moment, and at that moment, I thought I really don't want to live without my daughter in my life, so I'll go do comedy and hang out with other people that don't want to live. Just kidding. I want to make people laugh, and then it'll make me laugh too.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah. So, yeah, I get it how something heartbreaking or very difficult can make you make this choice.
Right, right. Because I think everybody wants to try comedy, and it's just like, well, I ain't got nothing else to lose, so I might as well, It's like it can't be worse than this, or it can't be worse than what I'm going through. So, but
Yes.
after
Well, I'm
that,
sorry you went through something horrendous.
well, you know what? I think about that all the time. It's like I'm not, I'm not. I needed that to get to where I am now. I need, you needed that. You need to learn some of them life lessons or go through them trials and tribulations to, it's like you out in Vegas. So I don't know how the weather is, but I tell people out here, it's like, how you gonna appreciate summer if you don't have the winter? You know what I mean? How you gonna appreciate that if you don't, have the winter, the shoveling the snow, the runny nose, you know what I mean? The chapped lips, So when the
Yes.
summer comes, you're gonna live all those days to the fullest. You're gonna get out there and run and soak it up and just do whatever, feel the sun on your face. You're gonna appreciate it more.
That's right. The hard times make the good times so much sweeter. And there's so much that we learn from going through hard things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like yesterday, I had Kermit Washington, a former NBA player. He just was in prison for 4 years and got out early because of COVID. And,
Mm,
he was talking about how those years in prison are going to make him a better person.
yeah. Yeah. That's absolutely true.
So everything we go through can make us better if like the trick is not being bitter or angry or, trying to get even with whatever
Right.
happened. But just, that's the
Right.
thing. So yeah. So you have a love to make people laugh. So your family helped you with the love to make people laugh that you spoke of. So like before you became a comedian, when you weren't around your family being funny, how did it express itself? Because it had to pop up in school or around
Oh,
friends.
yeah, I was voted like class clown like 3 years in a row. Would have been I would have had the clean sweep if it wasn't for Adam McDermott. And I'm still looking for Adam, boy. I'll be like on Facebook watching what is his life now. And I'm like, you took my last year of being class clown. Now you like in the Marines or something. Now that's the total opposite, what I'm like, that's just wasted. That's just a wasted class clown that they just gave you. And I could add the clean sweep.
Oh my gosh. When I was a senior, they voted me most likely to only be a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Only. So it was, bittersweet, I have to say.
Okay, okay, okay.
So, what's it been like being out on the East Coast doing comedy for the last 5 or 6 years before COVID? How did things go for you from the very get? The first time you went on stage, how scared were you? How many times did you bomb? I want to know it all, Timothy.
Okay, well,
Tell me.
this is the thing. Okay, so the first time I went on stage, like it was like we open mic, um, and actually my partner on the quarantine calling show, Kim DeShields. Also, this is me, Laura, and Kim DeShields. Now, Kim DeShields is she's from Nick at Night's Funniest Moms, and she's been a stint on Wendy Williams, and and it's always I always tell people it's like Dark Vader and like a Jedi and a Sith. There's always the master and the apprentice that you usually shadow. So I was asking her all type of questions like, well, how do you write jokes and this and that and that and this and how do you know what's funny and whatever? And she just stopped me. She was like, do your friends think you funny? I was like, yeah, everybody thinks I'm funny. He's like, do you got material? I was like, well, I got some things I want to talk about. And so I just kept picking her brain. She would just stop. She just stopped like even looking at me, acknowledge she watching the stand up, you know. And so then, like, she was like, hold my drink. Don't let, she's still this way to this day. Don't let nobody put nothing in my drink. Watch my drink. Watch it. Don't you take my eyes off your eyes off my drink. Just watch the drink. So she goes, I'm watching her drink and whatever. She comes back, you know what I'm saying? Next thing I know, and it's like, we got a virgin coming to the stage. Give it up for Timothy Lovett. And so now, you know, she done went and signed me up. And then ever since then, it was like, yo, when it's showtime, it's go time. It's like I didn't have time to be scared. So it's just like I went, did what I did. They laughed. And that I couldn't it's like, it's really like a drug because you always chasing that first time, that high, that first time, that feeling that you got on stage. And
Yes.
and so yeah, I mean, after that, it was like just trying to figure it out, writing jokes. And I was into puns for a while. And puns are great at open mics, but with grown folks, you know what I'm saying? People who worked all week and did their hair and got to get a babysitter and bought a ticket and already ordered 2 drinks. They don't like puns. They just, you can slide one in, but it got to be like, it's definitely an issue where you're gonna get and you gotta, that has to factor into your joke. You know what I mean? When the audience realize they've been duped, it's like they laugh like, how? Oh, you gotta expect that. So it's like now I know where to, place them a little bit and but yeah, it was an issue like out here. It was like a big, like a comedy city. I'm out here in Northampton, Massachusetts, home of Smith College, and they call it the 5 college area, UMass, and what else out here, Hampshire and Mount Holyoke.
Mount who?
Mount Holyoke.
Holyoke.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
So women's college, Smith and Mount Holyoke are women's colleges, and UMass is you know, mixed or whatever you call it. But uh, so there was, people would come out here, do the open mics, but they weren't putting nobody from Northampton on their shows. So I was like, why don't we do our own show? So, I did that, gathered people around. I always been great, I always been great in the community, always done a lot of community service and, some court mandated, some, but and then people started coming and we just started doing it and we just started getting bigger and bigger and we so that's how comedy as a weapon actually started when like I said, I was in a bad situation and then which caused me to be homeless for 13 months and in the situation I was in, the one thing you do sort of to save yourself is sort of this like mental and emotional triage, like because you got to adapt to your surroundings. And the one thing I promised I wouldn't give up was my sense of humor. You know what I mean? That was my weapon to get me over, my ability to laugh at the situation, at myself, and, find humor in everything. And that's where comedy as a weapon came from. So as a
Wow.
production company, that's what I named, comedy as a weapon, and we started doing that. So I pulled, my partner, Kim, DeShields, they call her Boney. I pulled her in and since then it's like we just been knocking them down. It's like the 1-2 punch where I come in and I get to express myself and be me and be crazy, and she comes in and she's like very professional, very fun. One of the funniest people, one of the funniest women ever. I love and I like to keep comedy as a weapon, like women heavy. Like I like a lot of I love women comedy because I always put on the shows. I like to sit in the audience and watch. Like if even if I wasn't on the show, I just want to sit there. I want to the people on the show are the people I want to sit down and watch, and the combination of people, make for a good show. And so she's like one of the funniest women I ever seen. Her quick wit. It's immaculate. It just always makes me laugh. It's like I'm like, how did you come up with that? Like, I have to come up there, like, how did you come up with that? Like it's just like amazing.
Where did
So
you meet her?
I met her at the open mic. That's where I met. It was in Northampton at the open mic, and she was the first one who she was the one who signed me up for the comedy. And ever since then, like we just traveled in the same circle. And then like she took me under her wing, and I started traveling with her. And and Kim is one of these type of people where type of women like wherever we go, whether I'm ready or not, she'll be like, he's a comic too. Can he get on? And I don't even be ready. I just want to go see the show. You know what I mean? And then and like I said, I
That's
just
so
always get thrown up in the fire. And then as people got to see me, and I got to mature as a comic, um, I started getting booked, and and I started seeing other comics, so I started bringing them back to our town, and then it was like our name became more known, well known. Like we put on good shows, we pay comics. That's always you know, um, and so now then it was an issue like, well, I want to work with these people. So if I can't get to them, I'll bring them to me. So it was just like that. So like, hey, what's it gonna take to get you here? And I want to share what I got, like these people coming here with everybody else. So that's my journey right now. Right now I was touring, I was doing some lightweight touring. Right before COVID hit, I bought into a franchise called Funny for Funds out here, where we put on fundraisers with a comedy show Kicker. And we were rolling. We were rolling. What else? Uh, I did a stint on the radio on a commercial FM radio station for 2 years, and that was like 106.3 Smooth FM. I'm like, I don't know how you hired me for a smooth state. Does my voice sound like smooth jazz? You know what I mean? So yeah,
kind of does.
it does it.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm like, I am way too hyped for cool, smooth jazz.
But some of them smooth jazz voices put you to sleep. Yours doesn't. They're too smooth.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it, man. In a nutshell, I know I went through that fast, but a lot of stuff has happened. We've done a lot of great things, and I'm very proud of the team. And even in like the COVID situation, I always believe creators gonna create. True creators are gonna create no matter what. And so Laura Grant approached me like, you should do comedy online. And I'm sorry, I'm old school. I need people in the audience. I'm sort of organic. I need organic comedy. I can't imagine doing comedy like like I'm talking to the Brady Bunch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like the squares. Like so so I was like, maybe we should do a talk show on how people are coping with um through the quarantine. And first it started local, like we wanted to do local people, like influencers, people with like stores, and people with teachers and things like that. Then as it got bigger, we just started doing more, more and more people like in comedy. We had a sex therapist on. We had, we just had like we just started getting bigger, and I wanted to take more of like a background role. So you see me up there like I'm working all the switches and pulling the plugs, and drinking this car, drinking my coffee. Or you see like I didn't even take the set down over here. You see the symbol for the core. I don't even okay. Quarantine calling show. And that's what we're doing. That's what we just been doing. We just because it's all about as I think as any performer, it's all about the audience, and that's my main thing. Like yeah, of course I do it for me. Like comedy is my therapy, but I want to make people feel good. I don't want to, that's why I don't go out there and cuss out the audience, or I'm not like an attacking comment unless unless you try me. Like, there's other, I live by don't start now, won't be none, because I'm dead, there would definitely be some, but that's not my thing. Like I'm not, an attack, because I don't want people to feel scared. Come to a comedy show, I want them to feel good and laugh, and and I try to have relatable material to my life. Um, I just don't want people, some people, and that's some people's, thing. They come out there and they just make the audience feel uncomfortable and attack, people, which is all right. Like, I mean, that's their style. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I don't do that.
Yes.
Um, so yeah,
You have
that's us,
such a desire to make people laugh and enjoy themselves, and that's it comes through everything you're saying. I feel it. It's like you don't even have to say it. I feel it coming from you.
Yes, yes. What I feel like laughter is healing. It is. It's, like I said, it's a conscious decision to be happy. I feel like, you know, yeah, now does things piss me off? Does the lady who cut me off and go 2 miles per hour when I got like 2 minutes to get to work? You know what I'm saying? Yes, yes. Oh yeah, getting back to the intro. So what ended up happening was, like I said, I was homeless for 13 months, and
Okay.
so at the time I was homeless, I was work. I would go back and I would volunteer at the shelter, and we also did, so getting back, like we do these things called comedy calls once a year, where we do a big comedy show, and then we raise money for like a cause. Usually it was a cause that helped me get back, you know what I mean? Like first year was like the recovery center. You know what I mean? Not that I had a problem with drugs or alcohol. It was the fact that, when it was cold, 2 degrees, like I said, I live in Massachusetts. For people who, don't understand New England weather, you should Google that, and it's cold. So, that hour going to that meeting and they got hot coffee and donuts and, you know what I mean? It was to get out the cold. You know what I mean? So I felt like when I was in a position to give back, with what I do, and I obviously tell jokes and put on shows. Um, we raise money for the recovery center, and then the next year it was the survival center. Then it turned into the homeless shelters, the homeless shelters of Northampton, which and I was volunteering. It's like, Tim, you should come work with us. I was like, nah, I can't, because comedy, I don't want to, and it's like, no, you should come, just do it on when you can. We're just, and so eventually they brought me an application and just like moved my hand on the and so I ended up working for work for them part time at night, like so those days. And it's a good thing now because COVID. So now it's just like I just pick shifts and I just do overnights there. So and they all know, like because I live in the same community that I work in, so they all know that I'm a comic, and so they always bring me jokes, and I always do them better. I always like they bring me stock jokes, and I always try to up one them. You know what I mean? So it's like you're like, I'm still the funniest man on at the shelter.
So I was in the military,
Oh,
and I was in the military in the 70s, long before Gloria Allred and the Me Too movement. And so, you know, I came out of the military different because of what I went through in the military that women put up with. And so now part of my healing process is to make military veterans laugh. So I go into shelters and hospitals and make them laugh, and then I teach them how to take their pain and make it funny if they're ready. I don't
yes,
want to
yes,
trigger a veteran, God forbid,
right,
but yeah,
right. But man, how's that make you feel?
it makes me feel like a magician. I can make pain disappear and sadness, and yeah, it's so great. It's hard to get a VA facility to let you come in. And I had one going weekly in New York City at the VA hospital,
Mhm.
and I had one going in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from, and now I'm in Vegas, and it's this Vegas is tighter than a drum. I'll just say a drum. I can't figure out the code to get into the VA here to do
Hmm.
comedy. It hasn't worked yet. So, but I love making military people laugh and veterans, and teaching them how to write jokes about their life. So I
Well,
get what you're doing.
actually, it's funny because but right before COVID, Laura Grant and I were going to do a fundraiser for the Veterans Hospital out here. That was our next event that was coming up, and yeah, then COVID was like, nope,
Oh
nope.
my. If you ever do a fundraiser on Zoom, I'd love to be able to make military or veterans laugh wherever it's possible. So if you do one on Zoom for military or vets, let me know, please.
Yeah, yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Um, so tell I know this is supposed to be about me, but I'm curious about, so what made you start this show, like, and where did this come about?
You know, I'm very sensitive.
Hmm.
And when this COVID hit, I was like, oh my, I'm 69 years old. I never saw a bigger mess in my life. And I've seen a lot, you know?
Hmm.
I mean, I grew up where we saw President Kennedy's brains splattered across a convertible and all over his wife's dress. And that was nothing compared to COVID. It wasn't. All the stuff we've ever seen on TV, all put together, isn't even as bad as COVID. And I was depressed. And something said, well, you know, I got this Skype and I thought, somebody said something about Zoom and I went trying it and I thought I'd test it with a friend here in Vegas. So I got her up on the screen like you and I could see that she was so depressed. I mean, you could see the depression on her face when she was,
Hmm.
and as we talked, we hadn't seen people or each other in a few days, and as we talked, we got to laughing, and before we both got off the Zoom, we were both in a better mood. And then I just thought, well, maybe I'll call another comic, maybe I'll check out somebody else. And I started becoming like the Gladys Kravitz of comedy, you know, like nosy neighbor checking in on you. And people were so depressed, and some of
Hmm.
my first interviews, people were not having it, didn't want to talk, you know. But as they stayed on there, we both cheered up. And that's kind of the more depressed somebody is, the goofier I get. You know, if I think you're really going through something, I get goofier than, you know. And so, you know, like it just led to another one. And I just became hooked on, I can't go on stage, but one by one, I can attack people and make them smile. And then it became, I'm getting to promote you. And then after I interview you, you can come back on and promote what you do. And it's just kind of snowballed into something people have enjoyed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's sort of like what we did. We went in the intention of definitely, like I said, making people feel that they're not alone, and then it just came to, like, we just started interviewing people and just hearing these amazing stories, and of it's really interesting that like a lot of the people that we interview, man, the things that they actually went through, or are doing, or that you didn't even know behind the scenes. You usually see them come out um on stage and they telling jokes, but we just interviewed a guy who was an author, and uh he's a comic, a black dude dressed like he from the hood, then goes on the trains and crochets, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's just like he just crochets, just, and it's just like, it's amazing, and it's, you find out about these people and it's like, wow, like, I gotta get I gotta get my stuff together. So
Some people are so, you know, benevolent, and so they're doing so many things. Like you have, you know, your production company, you have
mhm.
your show, you have two or three shows, you're doing things on the road and around Massachusetts with Kim DeShields. You know, like you're not a one trick pony. And the more I talk to comedians and artists, they never are just doing one thing. You know, they have their hands in so, and getting them to open up and talk about what legacy are they trying to leave, and what's the next, and what is some stage they've never been on that they want to be on, and what's some project that they think would be so cool for them to do. You know, it's just, it never
Right,
ends.
right,
It's
right.
amazing. What is the legacy you're trying to leave?
Well, I just want, I don't know. I just want people to just, I don't know. I just want them joke. I want to write that joke or that set that people remember. You know what I mean? Like, we all got like the Eddie Murphy joke. You know what I mean? Like, or I used to love like Robin Williams and then, but you remember them for something. You know what I mean? And I just and that's what it is. I just want that. Like, if I can have that person, have a person just I brought joy to that person where they can always recall that memory of where they was hearing that and they were just dying, or they look at something and always relate to it, or you know what I mean.
Yes.
That's what it is. But it's like you said, we're in a, we do a lot, and it's just, but that's what I would like. If I had to, they was like, you can only do one thing, Tim, and it would just definitely be comedy. It'd be stand up comedy. Um, and it'd be, it'd definitely be stand up comedy, and the legacy I want to leave is the humor, is that joke, that set or whatever that people remember and can go back. And hopefully money too. Money I can like leave the kids or whatever and be like, yeah, my dad was funny, but we had to take up a collection to bury his ass. You know what I mean? But I'm saying this joke, that joke ain't buried, but that's what it is, man. I don't know. It's like I don't, I feel like I love comedy so much that that's what it is. I just want to be able to do that. And I mean, I know it's show business, and that's not lost on me, but that's what it is. That's the legacy. I just, that Tim loved comedy, and he just loved making people laugh, and you know, um, um, he done, he made up for all the bad he did, with good, tried to like, replant the forest or whatever it's called.
That's like me. I did a lot of bad in my day, and now I'm on this trajectory to do good, and it feels so good to make people laugh, you
It
know?
does.
If I had to pick between interviewing people like you all day long and doing comedy all day long, I would pick interviewing. If God said you can only do one, I'd pick interviewing. But I love the performing. I love it
Hmm.
on Zoom. I love it in person. Heck, I love it at a bus. I've done comedy on the Amtrak train down in the disabled section across the country. I don't
Oh
care where I
shit.
do it. So
I
I'm
have
like,
never I have never done comedy on Zoom yet. Like I can't. I mean, I've watched a couple and it's like I want to get excited about it, but it's depressing to me. Like, I mean, it's funny, don't get it wrong, but it's just like, is this where we at? Like, is this where we
exactly.
at? Like, I don't want to, I need to be, or I need that organic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the East Coast in me. You know what I'm saying? We need that organic. That gluten free comedy.
I know that like when we're on Zoom like this, there's that fourth wall or fifth wall there, and you have to break through it and connect with
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
And it's like, whoa, it's stay in frame, and
right,
did you get
yeah,
it? I don't hear you laughing. Is that
right now,
your?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Look and see you laughing and telling the jokes, and it's like,
what's
yeah,
what are you
I-
doing? Do you have your pants on?
right, like,
So weird.
yes, I don't know, I don't know. I just, I like the Zoom for the interviews though. Definitely, you get to see people more relaxed, and their home setting, and you know, things like that. But but for comedy, I definitely got to have an audience. We was doing for a while. We was doing the outdoor comedy shows during the summer. I didn't know how much people were ready to come out. Like each
Yes.
show we sold out. Like it was enough. And we had to change the date on one because it was supposed to rain. So last minute we had to change the date, and still people came out. It was crazy. And it was none of the people who bought tickets. It was all different people.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, it was great. I'm saying, like, people love comedy. So I mean, for comics out there, if you don't already know, people love comedy, and if you're doing it, other than for them, I don't think it's gonna work for you. I don't think comedy is gonna work for you, but I'm saying, if you're doing it for the people, they will come out and they will support. And people know the difference between you being funny and you just trying to make them laugh. You know what I mean? People know that.
Yes.
Um, so that's what I'm saying. That's it's just so with that, like people know that we put on, we give everything to those shows. Like, I mean, you might see me in a live. You ever look at some of my Facebook, you'll see me in a loud suit, like, because I always think like when I'm hosting Three Ring Circus, like the ringmaster always had on the loudest suit, and I like to plan things to the detail, to a band opening up for us, or a singer, or depending on what area we're in, or I like to come out to a smoke machine to the song. I'll be up all night worrying about the song, practicing coming out to songs. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I can't do that. I can't. That's too fast. I want to slow down. Or that's too slow, man. I don't want to. It just I don't like those words, or the sway, or up that right there. I don't like that. The hard hat came in. The hi hats came in at the wrong time. So it's like I'm sitting there all night, really picking out a song, or like each is a process, because I want to put on the best show. I want people to walk away and be like, wow, that was a great show. It was funny. It was amazing to, for us, for the money that we spent, that you don't have to spend, I don't know, $70 seeing these people, $80, for the money that you spend, you come here and you're gonna get that type of experience. We're gonna go give it 100%. It's not just a guy, people with microphones telling jokes. You know what I mean? We got,
Wow. You're
I just
really into the production of it all.
well, that's what it is. It's show business. You know what I mean? It's show, but people forget you in Vegas. I never been to Vegas, but I can just imagine, like, the lights and everything, and you walk in the casinos, and everything is to get your attention. Everything is fighting for your attention. I'm fighting for attention. I'm fighting for attention.
Well, it sounds like you treat your comics well. You pay your comics and a good reputation. And I saw the production that you and Laura Grant put on when Wendy Liebman was on your show, and it was top notch.
Thank you, thank you.
And you like you said, you were in the background. You weren't even trying to really be funny, but I could tell you were funny. You can kind of see that on a person. And yeah, and it's really cool when you see someone with your experience who's willing to take a back seat and not try to always be funny. That intrigues me more than somebody trying to be funny. You know what I mean?
Right,
You
right.
weren't trying to be funny, but you impressed me as funny.
Well, we're a team, you know what I'm saying, and each team's got their roles. You know what I mean? Like, like that is like, Laura Grant. She's point on that show. She's very good. She gives a great interview. She asks very good questions. Um, and like I said, she's very, she really puts her time in. Like, all week she's promoted. She goes to, she calls, the guest, and really gets to know them, and builds up a rapport with them. And we do our research on the guest, and we just sit back and um just wait. Like I said, Kim is very funny off the rip, so whenever she jumps in, and it's like, it's not for me to be, the in the front of in the front of that show. It's for me to just listen, and get in where I fit in. And now sometimes what I would do, if you ever go back and watch, like if we start getting off trail, the trail and track, I will ask a question to bring us back in. You know what I mean? Like, we're the 1-2, like where I'll bring us back into the interview or whatever, with that voice, like. So can you tell me, when you first started doing comedy, some of the low points, did you ever consider quitting comedy? So I'll bring it back into that, or something like that, and then she'll go, she'll go from there. So it's just not like I don't know, just like just rambling and everybody trying to out joke each other. So
What is something that you'd like newer comics coming up behind you in the ranks to know? So there's so many things to put together in 5 or 6 years, and there are no shortcuts. but there might be something that you thought was true about comedy and found out wasn't, or vice versa. What surprised you the most in your career?
Um, well, the thing, the thing that surprised me the most about, about comedy is the fact that I actually, that I didn't think I was gonna love it as much, but I don't know. I think that I didn't think anything surprised me because I knew what I was getting into. But what I would tell like younger comics is, you know, um, don't ever look at like the next comic and think you deserve to be where they are. Don't ever look at everybody has their time. Um, and you got to keep working, you got to be ready, when your time is called, you got to, like I said, like I've been on shows I know I shouldn't have been on, but because I was rolling with Kim and she got that, gave me that 5 minutes, that I was ready, you know what I'm saying. You know when it's showtime, it's go time, and it's like I was scared or whatever, but listen, this is the thing, I don't care who I'm on that show with or whatever. First of all, I'm gonna give it what I got, and it's not about, it's not really about anybody on that stage. It's about the audience. So I'm gonna get in what I got, and that's why I'm there for. When you give me that time, you're not giving me that time for me. You giving me that time for them, So that's the thing. Like never think you deserve what someone else got. Because either you rolling with them or y'all started together, or because y'all friends, or you think you're funnier than that person, and because everybody ain't gonna fit it on every show. Like if you ain't a clean comic and they need a clean comic for a church show, that's not your gig. Don't try to change your jokes to make them clean, because and you still talking about like sex and drugs, or whatever. It's still, but you just took the cuss words out. It's still, it's the, that's just not your show, or vice versa. Like, or if you're a clean comic and you in a room where you got to do a lot of crowd work and you have no crowd work, that's not your show. And that's the thing. Like, I never put a comic on my show that I don't watch. Like, I haven't personally either seen or know, or unless Kim vouches for him or whatever, because she knows the type of room that we're doing. Because like I said, you get in the room, you get in a situation where you can't do crowd work, or you too vulgar. And like, right, and the East Coast is very PC. Like, we live in, you can't say anything wrong, and they'd be like, they come to walk out. They come to walk out, you know what I mean? Like, they pay money to see what he gonna say. What he say? What he said? What? you know and so it's like, you can't fit, so you can't fit everybody. So, and it's not a personal thing. Like I keep saying, it's show business. And, so that's it. That's the thing that I would like, people don't just keep working, but, and, don't try to sound like nobody. Just find you, be you. And also I do this thing, I have, this saying, like I say at the end of my sets, like the only thing I ever mastered in life is the art of being me, and in spite of life, I'm me on purpose, and that's what I'm saying. So I got shirts that say "me on purpose" on them. Operators are standing by. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's what be you, be you, and never expect the same thing that another comic or somebody got.
I like that. So, what's the craziest thing you've seen go down at a comedy club?
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna
Everybody
tell you
has
straight.
one.
I'm gonna tell you straight out. I was at I was at a club called Slade's in Boston. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, I always bomb at that club. They don't like cute or funny at that. They, them is just like, they want straight up like Def Jam, Apollo kind, and and like I said, I'm not an attacking comic, but they were attacking crowd.
Whoa.
So I got this, I said something, this woman said something, and I said something to her. I like went off, like like I said, she jumped up. So I just started just just firing off, pow, 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 pow. Just, and she got up and stood up and she walked to the stage and she just argued with me like on the stage like that. And I'm just eating her up like that. And it was just like, then her table got up and they just all like that. I thought we was going to have to fight our way out of that. That it was just, I have never seen anything like that out, it was just, she walked, I was like, is this security here? I was like, security, it's just, and she's like at the bottom of the stage, just looking up, just going off on me. And I'm just, and of course, as a comic, I can't let her win. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, I didn't write that rule. I mean, I don't know. As a comic, you can't let the heckler win. It's just, but it was just the fact that she was very upset and she was trying to get to me. I think if she could get on that stage, like if she didn't have a dress on and can climb up that stage, that it would have got domestic violence up there. And I was just and I was just, yeah, so, but luckily, so they got her, and then Kim went up next, and her comedy calmed that crowd down.
Wow.
It was really kind, and she won them over. And because I really thought like we was gonna have to fight our way out of there. I have never been scared on stage. You know what I mean? Like after stage, you be in the corner, like, what did I say to people? With that dude who was talking, you got to show to keep your eye on him. But I thought she was gonna run up. I have never seen that before in my life. So that was the craziest thing to this point. Hopefully, forever. You know what I'm saying? That actually happened to me.
Oh my gosh. I do this one joke really slowly on stage. And I was setting up the joke slowly on purpose. And this lady in the front row says, yeah, yeah, come on. And I'm like, oh my God, no, she didn't do that thing. And I said, you better slow your roll. And I don't know why I said that, but I was not having her telling me to go her speed.
Right. I don't know, because you know what? Everybody in that audience think that they're a comedian. They coming to see how they can tell your joke better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why. That's all they. So I just feel like 95% of the people actually ain't gonna get up there. So I already won. That's
That's
why I'm
right.
always. This is why I'm always confident. It's like because I know 95% of the people, you know, booing right now. Is
They
that
couldn't get up and do
right?
it.
They wouldn't get up there, and even if they did tell one joke, okay, fine. You got that joke off. Now, what are you gonna do for the next 19 minutes?
So true. What did Kim DeShields tell you after you duked it out verbally with the lady down below you? What was her words of wisdom?
It was like I thought we was gonna have to fight our way out of. She was like, it's just weird. Like, yeah, she was like, we was both scared. Like, we came together. You know what I mean? We were just trying to get out. We was all huddled up, like together, like just trying to make it to the car. But uh, I don't know. Kim is always, Kim is always like positive than negative. She's like she'll give you a comment. You had great energy. You great. You know what I mean? This should just tell you all the negative stuff. It's just like, you shouldn't engaged with her or such and such. You should have kept going. I was like, how am I supposed to keep going? And I got this woman at the bottom of the stage. Like, you can't ignore that. It's like things you can't ignore, and that's one of them. You know what I mean? It's like somebody at your store, this thing, you trying to talk around her like she ain't even there. You know what I mean? And she just cussing you out. I don't know. Maybe I ain't reached that level in comedy yet.
So, what's the biggest thing that you have not done yet that you're dying to do before your time is over?
The biggest thing that I am dying to do. Really, I don't know. I think the biggest thing is actually, is to be able to, the biggest thing I really want to do is just like to be up there with, with the greats. You know what I mean? Like I want to be I want to be a great comic. I want to be able to go in any place and be like, yo, can I get 5 minutes? Yeah, yeah, Mr. Lovett. I want to be, that's what I want. The greatest thing I want to go from Tim to Mr. Lovett. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mr. Lovett. Yeah, you can get on. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere. I just, like I said, I feel like, I'm not really, I don't want to say it like I want to be a mid-level comic, but I'm not really in it for like the fame or I love it. You know what I'm saying? But like I
Yes.
said, I'm also decent at business. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's like I understand it's a business and I gotta, pay bills and stuff like that. So, I
Yes.
can't I'm not can't give it away. I can't give it away for free all the time. Like I will do free stuff, but I can't give it away for free. But the biggest thing, like I said, I don't know, being man number 3 in a movie or man walking across the street. I don't know, something like that. Like, I always told myself I wanted to be like a Burger King toy, be so big that, I'd be in a Happy Meal and be like, hey, with new Timothy Lovett action grip, you get your,
That's
but,
so cool.
but, I would, that's really what I want to do. I just want to be big enough to just walk in anywhere and just do comedy and get paid and people, it's not really for the fame or whatever. It's just like I said, I just want to make people laugh, because comedy is therapy. If I, that means I'm gonna have to sit, I'm gonna have to pay somebody, to release this stress, and instead of getting paid to release the stress.
Yes, it is therapy. It's very therapeutic for you, and it's therapeutic for us hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah,
My
it's
high,
true.
scratchy voice. I'm sorry. Okay.
Mr. High pitched, smooth jazz.
Right. That's why I was like, you want me to do what? Najee?
I I should get going,
Okay.
but I have so adored getting to know you. I love everybody should get out there and watch Quarantine Call-In Show and get out there and look at everything that Timothy Lovett is putting out there. So tell us again the shows that you're producing.
Okay, so right now we're doing the quarantine call-in show. We also have some comedy as a weapon shows. We have a YouTube channel at Comedy as a Weapon. You can follow future events at the Facebook page Comedy as a Weapon, and Instagram is comedyasa. Oh, I also want to tell you real quick about the website. The website is Comedy Weapon because somebody in Vegas, when I was looking up, somebody in Vegas I was looking up domain names like, okay, comedy as a weapon is free. By the time I got home, they bought it and they tried to charge me $2,000 for it. And so, like, since they didn't use it in like 3 years, I went to GoDaddy and like, yo, listen, they ain't used it. They just holding on to it. So I guess they made him do a website, so he finally put up a website as Comedy as a Weapon. And that's not me. You know what I'm saying? As much as I wanted to be, a white man in Vegas, that's not me. So
Wow.
that's the funny story about comedy. That's why it's comedyweapon.com. And like I said, we just do all kind of quirky videos and we do, what everybody else is doing. I'm also doing like drone photography now. Like,
Wow.
I thought, I thought I was gonna die. So I bought a drone, it's like um so I'm out there just, taking pictures of landscapes and things like that. And also, shooting videos with it. We do a lot. Also like for the shows, like I said, follow, go on comedyweapon.com. We post them. And every Sunday at 6 a.m. I mean 6 a.m. 6 p.m. Eastern. You threw me up. I was up at 4 o'clock. I was like, where is she? How come she ain't, but then I seen it was specific time and I was like, oh, they behind us. And I was like, so I was like, I was ready, but I was like, did she forget about me? I'm swinging my feet on the chair. So it's 6 p.m. Eastern time, every Sunday with Laura Grant and Kim Boney DeShields and myself, Timothy Lovett.
Wow. Thank you so much for taking your time to come on Comic Spot. And I know my people are loving you, and I'm going to keep promoting this and all of your links that you gave me.
All right.
And I'm just thrilled to get to know you. Thank you so much, Timothy Lovett.
Linda, thank you for having me. It was so much fun. You know what I mean? And
Thank
you
you.
know, continued success to you and congratulations on the show. And
Thank
you know what
you.
I'm saying? Let her perform at the Veterans Hospital if you're listening. Let her do that.
Yes.
Let her get something together. Laughter is the best medicine.
Thank you. Put those drugs away and let me
Right,
in.
right. That's what it is. See that what it is, they can't, there ain't no HMO for you. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
They're afraid that the veterans will need less drugs if I'm
Right,
making them laugh.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day and
Oh,
week
no
and
deal, show.
life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.